welcome back again. Welcome back again. I'll be talking presently on what? On the Franco-Prussia War or Franco-Prussia War, as some people call it. Some people call it Prussia and some people call it Prussia. Let me spell it: Prussia. Franco-Prussia War. That means the war between France and Prussia. The war between France and Prussia, and that started on the 19th of July 1870 and ended on the 28th of January 1871. So that is Franco-Prussia War. Now Prussia is, I told you the other time in the other voice note that Prussia was one of the, should I call it, is one of the mother country of Germany. That there was no country like Germany before. We only have German speaking people, and those people belong to Prussia. They were part of Prussia and majorly Austria. They were part of Prussia and Austria. So they were part of Prussia and Austria. So it is that Prussia today that turned to this present day Germany. Yes, it is that Prussia that was turned to Germany, and you can see Austria is still a country that is still existing today. So they are still in exist. So if you go and check those people in Austria and the present people in Germany now, you see that their color is almost the same. Their languages is almost the same. Because they were, majority of the people in Austria then are also in Germany. Most of them had their ancestries. That means should have had their roots from the Prussians and vice versa. Okay. Now Franco-Prussia War. So Franco-Prussia War is a conflict, or let me say war. We call it, some people call it German War of Independence or Germany War of Independence. This Franco-Prussia War. So, or some people call it Franco-German War. Franco-German War. Either of the two. Anyone you choose. But it is popularly known as Franco-Prussia War or Germany War of Independence. So it is the conflict between the Second French Empire and the North Germany Confederation. The North German Confederation rather, led by the Kingdom of Prussia. Now look at it. I told you Germany does not exist as a country then, so they only had German speaking people, which consists of Austria, a country separately, and Prussia, another country separately. So one was north and one was south. But it was the Kingdom of Prussia that happens to be the North Confederacy of the German speaking people that fought the war. Look at the word confederacy. If we say confederacy is a loose political arrangement whereby people can bear a name. Yes, they can have a name, but they have their own separate countries. So they are being ruled by separate governments, but they are recognized as one. Yes, they are recognized as one internationally, but they can rule themselves separately. So now, what are the causes of this Franco-Prussia War, or what led to the conflict between Russia and Prussia, between Prussia and France? Number one is France's determination to reassert its dominant position in Europe after the Prussian victory over Austria in 1866. Now you see, Austria was a world power as at this period of time in European history. Austria was a world power, but you see, Prussia was just a growing country. Yes, a growing country. So when Otto von Bismarck, a warlord, yes, Otto von Bismarck, when he was elected as the Chancellor of Prussia, he was elected as the Foreign Minister of Prussia. He loved war so much. He was a man who preferred to go to war. He loves war so much. He prefer war than you sitting down and discussing for peace. So he believed that if you want peace, let us go to war. So that is his own philosophy. So Otto von Bismarck now came in rank. So he had to fight with Austria and defeated Austria. Meanwhile, France had already been defeated during the Napoleonic War. So France was now looking for a way to reassert. What do I mean by reassert? what do I mean by this? That Germany was looking for a way to do what, to make sure that he returned back as one of the superpower again. Yes, France was one of the superpower, but he had been defeated already in the Napoleonic War, so he was now looking for another way to do what, to say, we are still there, we still have power. So in one of that ways that he was looking at Prussia, that this Prussia is rising gradually. So if we allow this Prussia to rise, they may become more powerful than us, than France. So let us attack them. So one of the way to subdue Prussia from allowing them to grow was to do what, was to fight them. But it ended in what, in premium tears for them. Then number two is what, the candidacy of Leopold Sigmaringen to the throne of Spain. Now let me spell it, because that name is something else. Sigmaringen. Sigmaringen to the throne of Spain. Now we call it the Spanish throne crisis. Now why do they call it the Spanish throne crisis? Now let me explain. You see, the leader, the monarch leader of Spain then died. Now, and it is a must, if a king dies, or if a king is dead, they must elect another king. Very, very sure. So it is sure. Soldier go, soldier come, barrack no go remain empty. So this king died, so it is a must for them to do what, to elect another king. Now France was supporting the candidacy of another person. Meanwhile, Austria was supporting Austria brought what, Prussia was supporting this man, Leopold Sigmaringen. Let me just call it Leopold. Was supporting Leopold to be the king. So we have two people now. France was against Leopold France was against Leopold becoming the king, becoming the new king of Spain, because they know that if he becomes the new king of Spain, then there will be trouble for France. Why? Because you see, that Leopold had ties with what should we call it? He had a family tie with Prussia. I think it was maybe his grandmother or maybe his grandfather that was from Prussia. So definitely, indirectly, he is a citizen of Prussia. Although he's a Spanish, but he had one of his ancestries, one of his lineage came from Prussia. So definitely, imagine France now coming to tell the king of Spain, who happens to be Leopold, please, so we want you to go and fight against Prussia. You'll be as if I should go and fight against my own people. This is an insult. So France was actually not in support of Leopold becoming the king, because they knew that if he becomes the king, they will not be able to fulfill their will of becoming a world power again. They will not be able to do what they wanted to conquer Prussia. So it will not be possible for them to be fighting Prussia, and Spain will be looking, because the king that is reigning in Spain then happens to be from Prussia indirectly, because of one of his parents, maybe his grandfather, his mother's father, or his mother's mother was from Prussia. So he partially is a citizen of Prussia. So now when that man got here now, it causes what? Distrust. It causes tension between France and Prussia. So over the wahala láàrin wọn. Then number three is what? Economic rivalries. Yes, there was competition for trade and resources between the two countries. So they were fighting, and if there is to be a war, one of the reasons why there must be a war is what? Economic reasons. You cannot but find economic reason in any causes of war, because money or economic basis is always a legal ground for countries to fight, even if they are in good terms. When economic problems come between them, there will always be war. So there was economic rivalry too. So one of the things that caused it was economic rivalry that caused the Franco-Prussia War, was economic rivalry between the two countries. Then number four is what? Military modernization. Yes, the military modernization and reformation of Prussia. I told you Prussia was just a small country then. Prussia was not really that much powerful. Yes, they were not much powerful like that. So they were just a rising, let me call it rising power. But France is already an established power in Europe, but he had been defeated. So once wound there go on, the steeds of France has been wounded. Do you get me? So the states of France has been wounded. So want to wound the states of France. So France was looking for a way to regain its states back. Now when France was looking for a way to to regain its states and regain courage and regain power back. Now Prussia was now rising, so he knew that Prussia was a threat. Now France was very afraid of the way Prussia was mobilizing their army, how Prussia was recruiting their army, was training their army, was fortifying their armies. So Prussia was undergoing military setup, military development, military growth. So gbogbo wọn yẹn ò jẹ́ kí inú France dùn pé if these people succeeded in building that kind of large army they want to build, then we are in trouble. So we must find a way to do what to stop them. If we don't stop them now, Yorùbá ní àti kékeré lọ́tí ń pẹ̀ka ìrókò tó bá dòdìdì tó wá ṣe kí ni àgbẹ̀ ẹ̀bọ lọ́wọ́ ẹni. So that was what France wanted to do pé if we can still fight them now and conquer them at this early stage, yes, it will be good. But if we should leave them alone to prepare what they want to prepare and to build the army to the extent that hey, it will be trouble for us, then we are doomed. Yes, we are in full doom. So what could they do? The only thing they could do is to do what? To fight them immediately. Then number 5 is what? Diplomatic tension. Yes, there was tension between what? France and Prussia because of what? Because of a particular land. And what was that land? So there was dispute over Alsace and Lorraine, Belgium and Luxembourg. So there was actually fight between what? Between Prussia and France over those land. That èmi ni money. So they were fighting thoroughly because of it. So that was one of the things that caused the war. Then another thing is what? Nationalism and imperial rivalries. Now look at it. How should I put it this way? You see, the nationalism there is this. France actually wanted to do something. France wanted to make himself a world power in Europe, an European power, the supreme one, like to assert its dominance. Meanwhile, Prussia was looking for a way to do what? To reunite, to make sure that the German-speaking people will unite together under him. So there were two conflicting interests. In so doing now, France does not want that to happen. Meanwhile, these people, what are they calling it? Prussia was looking for every possible way to make sure that what? France comes back. All those people come back. And how will they do it is that, you see, some of these people, Prussia was agitating for that they should come. Most of them were under France colony. Most of them were under France colony, yes. So one of the ways to do is to make sure that they call those people back, and France does not want to release them, so it will cause fights between them. Like the towns I mentioned the other time, Belgium, Luxembourg, so there were some German speaking people there and in other countries, but it will be a fight, or it will cause immediate tension or fight between them, and which did cause the conflict between them. Then the 7th point is the what? The Ems dispatch. The Ems dispatch. EMS, the Ems dispatch. This happened in 1870. What does the Ems mean? You see, the M was a manipulative telegram. If you say telegram is a message then they sent, not this modern day telegram we are using. The telegram there was like an internet message that you send. Yes, it was an internet message. So you see, this manipulative message was sent by Otto von Bismarck. Yes, it was sent by Otto von Bismarck to France, to the king of France. So it caused what problem between them. And what was in this telegram? It was reported that Otto von Bismarck wrote that letter purposely to do what? To confront the French king. That is the king of France. So he wrote it purposely to do what? To confront him. What do you want to do? Do your worst. So that was one of the things that caused the fight between France and Prussia. So it's just like daring them. And Yoruba will say, the ẹni tó bá bèrè pé kí là ń ṣe òun là ń ṣe hàn. So that was what France was trying to do pé you are daring us with this kind of letter, don't you know who we are, you are just deceiving yourself, we will just destroy you. But Prussia was telling them that do your worst. So I told you Otto von Bismarck was a man who loved war very well. He does not agree with peace. His own method of peace is to do what? Let's go and fight. If we fight finish it and the battlefield, then let us come back. Good. The greatest dialogue of the day cannot be achieved through a round table discussion, but through iron and blood. That means in war. So let us go to the battlefield and settle everything. So by the time we fight and kill ourselves finish, then we cannot come and settle it in the round table discussion. But let us go and fight first. So can I even more? So that is it. Now, what was the outcome of this Franco-Prussia war? Now, what is the outcome of the Franco-Prussia war? What the result of this Franco-Prussia war? Number one is what? It led to the victory, and yes, it led to the victory of Prussia. Yes, because in this war, Prussia now became what? Became the winner. Prussia won the war. France was defeated mercilessly by Prussia. And then another outcome of the war was that a lot of people died. There was loss of lives and property, and yes, there will be loss of lives and property. People will lost their life, people will lost their property, those who fought in the war. It's a must. Then the third one is what? Unification of Germany under Prussia leadership. Yes. I told you one of the nationalistic ideas or feelings of Prussia was to do what? Was to unify all German speaking people under to its own territory. Yes, that was what they was doing. So, and this now, when when Prussia became victorious in the Franco-Prussia war, now they had to start calling people, yeah, come. So there was unification of Germany in 1871 under Otto von Bismarck and the rest. So there was what? Unification of Germany. So majority of German people who were in other countries came back. So they had to come back from different countries. So yeah, come. So that was one Prussia did was enlarged. So, and I told you it was this Prussia that turned to what? Germany today. This present day Germany that you are seeing. Then another thing is what? Establishment of the German Empire. Yes, they had to establish, after those people came together now, they established what we know as the German Empire. So this Prussia too started what? Enlarging its coast too. So it started seeing itself as what? We have defeated France, the one time superpower, so which we have power. So they start going about to fighting war, adding people to their own colonies too and territories too. So that was what happened. Then another thing is what? France loss of Alsace and Lorraine. ALSACELORRAINE. Yes, France lost Alsace and Lorraine. That was one of the important cities to France, because that was one of the economic pool city. The meaning of economic pool city, where you can easily get more money. Those were the money based, economic based city of those countries then. Just like how Abuja and Port Harcourt is to Nigeria now. Yes, Abuja, Lagos and Port Harcourt, money flows there very well. People will say, if you want more money, go to Lagos, go to Abuja, go to Port Harcourt, go to Calabar, go to Warri. You go see job very well, you go see money. The same thing, those Alsace and Lorraine was a very economic city for France then, but they lost it to Prussia, they lost it to Germany. Now, the last point was what? This war led to the end of the Second French Empire. Yes, it led to the what? To the fall of the Second French Empire. So France was defeated, and most of the countries under French Empire or French colony was what? Was dispatched. So most of them returned back to their former way of life. Most of them was added to other countries, and so on and so forth. So that is all for what? The Franco-Prussia war. Thank you.